Hello children, welcome to AIMS India's online classes, biology session, story of microorganisms 1 and 2, part 3. In the last video, we have discussed about different microorganisms and how microorganisms are useful to us. Okay, so different uses. That is lactic acid bacteria, how it is useful for us in the preparation of curd, and also several fermented products which we use every day, like idli, dosa, and some other fermented products like curd. Every day we use. Okay, not only that, even antibiotics which we use, they are also manufactured from the microorganisms. Okay, there are many useful microorganisms are there. So let us proceed to know more. Are you ready, children? Let us proceed. Role of microorganisms in the production of beverages. What are beverages? Beverages are certain type of the soft drinks. The yeast play an important role in the production of various alcoholic drinks. So these alcoholic drinks are made from the yeast by a process of fermentation. The yeast belongs to Saccharomyces cerevisiae, is popularly termed as brewer's yeast. Saccharomyces cerevisiae ferment the fruit juices and malted cereals. The molecules like glucose, fructose and sucrose, they are converted into ethyl alcohol and carbon dioxide and release some energy. So yeast perform this conversion in the absence of oxygen. So here the C6H12O6, which represents the glucose or fructose, in the presence of this yeast, converted into ethyl alcohol C2H5OH and CO2. This reaction takes place in the presence of enzyme zymase. The alcohol ethanol is produced as a result of the above reaction. The carbon dioxide released is used as a raising agent in making bread or cakes. Okay, so here actually in the brewers industry, the beverages, they will use molasses, the byproduct of the sugar industry, as the raw material. So this molasses contains sucrose, the cane sugar. So this sucrose is converted to glucose and fructose. The presence of yeast produce two enzymes. One is invertase and the second one is zymase. So first the invertase convert that sucrose into glucose and fructose. So that glucose and fructose again acted upon by another enzyme released by the yeast, that is zymase. That zymase convert that C6H12O6, the glucose, into C2H5OH, ethanol. So this process is called alcoholic fermentation. The alcohol which is produced by this process, fermentation reaction, it may not be 100% pure, so it can be further processed by a process called distillation, fractional distillation. So in that fractional distillation, it is converted to the pure form and it can be used for different purposes. Okay, so yeast, a microorganism, it is used in the beverage industry. Okay, it belongs to the family Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Next, the role of microbes in the preparation of some chemicals, commercially useful products. Several chemicals are produced by microbes like organic acids, enzymes, and alcohol. So, some of the examples of microbes which produce the various organic acids, they are you can see here the different microbes like fungi, algae, and bacteria. Okay, they produce different chemical substances, beta carotene, okay, fucoxanthin, beta carrageenan, glutathione peroxidase, aspartic proteases, surfactant C, alpha cyclodextrin, chitin glucan, ceramide, lactic acid, astaxanthin. These are all the different chemical substances which are prepared from the microorganisms. So, some of the examples of the microbes which produce the various organic acids are given here. Lactobacillus, it is a bacterium, it produces lactic acid. Acetobacter aceti, it produces acetic acid. Clostridium botulicum, it produces butyric acid. Aspergillus niger, it produces citric acid. So, the microorganisms are used in the production of different organic acids and the chemical industries, by the chemical industries. Clostridium botulicum, it is a food poisoning bacterium which produces the butyric acid which cause food poisoning. So, for example, it is produced by fish. If the fish is not stored properly, then this bacterium Clostridium botulicum will grow on that and produce the butyric acid which is very poisonous. Okay. Next, microbes as biofertilizers. The fertilizers are the substances which are added to enhance the fertility of the soil, isn't it? So, this results in higher yields and healthier plants. The chemical fertilizers, however, have several disadvantages, like they are toxic to various life forms and can cause imbalance in the soil pH and results in the soil infertility. It also degrades the ecosystem. The plants become susceptible to many diseases when the fruits and vegetables have high toxic residues. So, continuously when we add these pesticides, insecticides and chemical fertilizers, what happens means they accumulate on the peels of these vegetables and fruits. It is called biomagnification. Okay, DDT is an insecticide which is widely used in the olden days. So, it was banned because of the side effects of that insecticides. Okay. So, biofertilizers has great advantage. By using these biofertilizers, we can increase the not only the quantity or higher yields, we can generate the higher yields, and also the quality of the food production can also be increased by using these biofertilizers. Nowadays these biofertilizers are recommended, we are calling it as organic farming. The biofertilizers are used in the organic farming which has great demand the present days. The excessive use of fertilizers can cause environmental pollution. To subside this environment pollution or to decrease this environment or to minimize the environmental pollution, it is recommended to use biopesticides and biofertilizers. or biomanures. Okay, so here organic farming, see different vermicompost is widely used, then green leaf manures or green manures, then crop rotation method is one of the method which can be used to utilize the soil properly. The biological management methods can be used, the animal husbandry, the biofertilizers and manures, these are all come under the organic farming. Integrated farming is also becoming popular nowadays. Okay, children, let us proceed to the next. Microbes as biofertilizers. How microbes utilized as biofertilizers? The use of biofertilizers is preferred as they do not include any of the disadvantage which we have mentioned earlier, means environmental pollution or production of the new disease. Okay, the biofertilizers are the living organisms. They enrich the soil nutrient, or the quality of the soil can be increased by using these biofertilizers. And next, some of the sources of the biofertilizers are the bacteria, fungi, cyanobacteria. Okay, the soil microorganisms these are, and they increase the fertility. About 78% of air around us, it contains the nitrogen, but plants cannot utilize that nitrogen. The plants need it mainly for synthesizing the proteins. The nitrogen is one of the important requirement, but they cannot make it from the atmosphere directly. So the microorganisms like certain bacteria, rhizobium bacteria, and cyanobacteria like Anabaena nostoc help to provide this essential element nitrogen to the plants by fixing them from atmosphere to form certain compounds. Okay, that they release into the soil, that can be taken up by the plants. So the microorganisms present in the soil like fungi and bacteria, they degrade even the biological wastes present in the soil. They degrade that biological wastes into the small compounds, some of which are very essential for the growth of plants. Rhizobium is an example of a nitrogen fixing bacteria which is present in the root nodules of leguminous plants such as groundnut. Okay, the nitrogen is a macronutrient for the growth and development of plants. This rhizobium enriches the soil with nitrogen. And another one, the fungi mycorrhiza. Mycorrhiza, a symbiotic association between the fungi and certain plants, also enhance the phosphorus content, which is in turn helps in the better growth and development of plants. Okay, the plants for which we use this mycorrhiza, the symbiotic association, they develop the resistance to pathogens. Next, so in the meanwhile, this is one important natural method which takes place in the nature, that is nitrogen cycle. Nitrogen cycle is all about the movement of nitrogen, how nitrogen passes in the atmosphere. Okay, this is nitrogen fixation and nitrogen cycle. Nitrogen cycle is all about the movement of nitrogen between the various elements on the earth like air, soil, living organisms, how the nitrogen rotates. The amount of nitrogen in the atmosphere remains constant. The atmosphere has approximately 78% of nitrogen. The atmospheric nitrogen is fixed into the soil that by special organisms, nitrogen fixing microbes, which convert the atmospheric nitrogen into nitrogen compounds like ammonia. The plants utilize the nitrogen from soil through their roots. The animals utilize the nitrogen by feeding on plants. When plants and animals die, again the nitrogen wastes are returned to the soil. Means the process of exchange of nitrogen between the flora and fauna, plants, animals, and the atmosphere, that is the soil, is called nitrogen cycle. So the decomposers convert some part of the nitrogen compounds to be used by the plants, and another bacteria by name denitrifying bacteria, which converts those nitrogen compounds again into the nitrogen, and that nitrogen is added to the atmosphere. Okay, so once again we have learned that the rhizobium bacteria, rhizobium is present in the root nodules of many leguminous or pulses plants such as beans and peas, even groundnut. The bacterium rhizobium takes nitrogen from the atmosphere and fixes on roots of the plant. The plants gives shelter to the bacterium, and thus both the bacteria and plant help each other. This relationship is called symbiosis. The growing pulse crop thus helps in the increasing the soil fertility. That's why in the crop rotation also, one time these leguminous plants can be grown overall in the season, and again it is rotated by another type of crops, so that the nitrogen is added to the soil, and which increase the fertility of the soil. So here the nitrogen cycle, the biological nitrogen fixation, and here the nitrogen from plants, the burning of the fuel, food, enters into the animals, and when the animals and plants die, the dead and decay microbes add that nitrogen to the atmosphere. So denitrification a process. So the decomposers convert the organic material into the ammonia. That ammonia, by means of nitrification, nitrogen pool into the soil, and that nitrogen, the biological nitrogen fixation takes place. And ammonification, first nitrogen is converted to ammonia, ammonification after nitrification, after that denitrification means that the mineral form, the compound form of the nitrogen is converted to again elemental form of nitrogen. So this elemental form of nitrogen is added to the atmosphere by denitrifying bacteria. Okay, this is a kind of the circulation of the nitrogen takes place between the organisms and the environment. So it is called nitrogen cycle. Microbes as decomposers. The decomposition is a process in which the complex organic matter is broken down into simpler forms. So this process of decomposition, or the breaking down of dead and decaying organic matter into simple inorganic forms, takes place in the presence of certain microbes. The organisms which help in decomposition are termed as decomposers. Example, bacteria and fungi. They are the important decomposers. The decomposers help the environment to get rid of dead and decaying matter, and also enrich the soil quality for better growth of plants. So here the decomposers are given natural. They are also called the scavengers on the earth. So earthworm is also a decomposer. Mushrooms, they grow on the organic matter of fungi. Some insects and certain bacteria, they act as decomposers. Okay. Next, the the harmful microorganisms. So far we have studied how the microorganisms useful. So the microorganisms like Rhizobium, Nostoc, Anabaena and Azotobacter, they are nitrogen fixing organisms. Next, harmful microorganisms. What are harmful microorganisms? So actually the story of these microorganisms begin in 1674 when Anton van Leeuwenhoek discovered the bacteria. Okay, there are many microbes which cause several diseases in plants, animals and human beings. Such disease causing organisms are called pathogens. What are pathogens? The disease causing organisms are called as pathogens. These pathogens include bacteria, viruses, fungi and protozoa. So in this particular slide we will discuss about the various diseases caused by various pathogens. Disease. What is a disease? A disease is a disturbed age, or we can define disease as any disturbance in the normal functioning of an organism is called a disease. So what is health? Health is a state of physical and mental well-beingness is called health. Any disturbance in this is considered as a disease. Disease result in the change in either the functioning or the appearance of one or more systems of the body, which may lead to worse conditions. Okay, so disease causing pathogens grouped under 4 categories: bacteria, viruses, fungi and protozoa. There are several microorganisms which cause diseases in human beings. So we can see the diseases like typhoid, tuberculosis and septicemia, blood poisoning, are caused by bacteria, and some of the skin diseases are caused by fungi, while other microbes, microarthropods and bacteria also cause some skin diseases. Some diseases like malaria, amoebiasis, they are caused by protozoans. So here we have mentioned viruses, bacteria, fungi and protozoa. Protozoan diseases are malaria and amoebiasis. Fungal diseases, some skin diseases. Viral diseases, so many diseases caused by the virus. Okay, that is mumps, measles, polio, okay, and common cold, influenza, even the present corona is also caused by virus. Okay, so the bacterial diseases, TB, typhoid, okay, these are caused by these bacteria, many diseases. Further we are going to discuss. Okay children, I hope you understood today's class. Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our channel and press the bell icon for receiving latest updates.